Now, I work with two hats in the Leicester Learning Institute. One is with academics on the e-learning module as part of the postgraduate certificate in academic practice. And then the other part is I'm working with the research and development team on a more flexible approach to the way that we deliver the support work we do with postgraduate research students. Now, one of the challenges that Helen Steele and I found is that we found working with DL PGRs is not an easy task. A lot of DL PGRs do have summer schools that they come to, which can be quite intensive, week-long events where a lot's being crammed in. I know that for a lot of people, taking leave to physically come to Leicester can be a real challenge with family commitments and other complications if you're working, for example. And one of the other things that we were trying to do with having a more flexible approach to the way we deliver is about giving an equity of experience, just like full-time postgraduate students. So what we have done, and I want to just give a little bit of a background of how this works. As you know, for those of you that are academic staff and maybe supervising students or being involved in postgraduate research, we've got this lovely complementary thing of the graduate school, the research and development team, which is part of the Leicester Learning Institute, and the library. We work collaboratively with the different colleges. Oh, sorry. Where we do a lot of training for the colleges that's bespoke, like each college will have sessions 4 times a year. A lot of these now we're using webinars, but the thing that I want to talk about today is around the Thesis Forum. But before I do that, I want to say that we're using a range of tools to support PGRs. So the Adobe Connect is just one of the bows that we have in the program that we've got across. Okay, now what we've done over the last 2 years is we've got a number of thesis forums, and I wanted to show you the types of topic areas that we've been looking at. But one of the things that we need to highlight here is that these are PGR-led. The students themselves are presenting in the webinars. They're even suggesting topics. We've had a number of guest speakers as well, which has been really well attended, and what is great is that this is a really good experience for students. Now, I wanted to just highlight a couple of things. Here we've got 3 students that were talking around how they were preparing for their probation review, and each of them had some wonderful things to tell. So they will have their PowerPoint presentations. We had some very good live chat coming here. We had 29 people online, as you can see there. Plus we had in the room 15 or 20 students. So with the Thesis Forum, we have what I call the blended synchronous, so we'll have people in the room as well as online. Now, if anyone wants to ask any questions through this, we could have a couple of points now. If anyone's got any questions from what I've talked about now, feel free to use the live chat, or if you want me to share the audio, I can stop talking to Reese and Catherine, and you can someone can talk if you'd like.
Or I can speak into the microphone to her if anybody's got any questions so far.
That would be good.
We seem to not have any questions, but thanks for pausing for that. Can I just point out?
I've done that deliberately because one of the things that I will say is that you have to modify the way you teach. And I was trying to give a nice pause to see that you need to restructure a little bit about the way that you might teach. And I think it's different than if we were just doing it online, as in like a live chat or something like that. And I think having the people speaking, people in the room, people online, and the live chat, it's been really a different dynamic than if we were all in Blackboard and not seeing each other. And what we would do is things like move the microphone around so that the presenters can see who's in, or if a presenter's online, they'd get to see who's in the room and things like that. Now what, I've just got another slide here. Okay, it's just, sorry, just some arrows here. What we found really interesting for us in this was that a lot of students that are postgraduate research students that are international, they found this kind of experience really good because they could write as well as listen, and a lot of the discussion that came up and having that live chat meant that there was more discussion than if we were just in the room talking with each other and no technology. That's something that we've found definitely to be the case from the 2 years that we've been using that. I wanted to just show you, this is the attendance according to college. 42% of arts, humanities and law, social sciences, engineering and psychology, and medicine, biological science was only 7%. From that, we had 82 were actually on-campus students and 111 were off-campus. And this is the thing down below, the subsequent views. This is how many people have gone in after we've recorded the session and gone in and had a look at those. So we've been very impressed with the attendance, and we're building up a collection of resources now. I went back in and looked at that particular session that I just showed you of the 3 students. I remember doing that session, but a year later going in and seeing what it was just so good to see how rich it was and how well it still had a relevance even though we'd done it a year ago. I want to just, before I finish, I've just got a couple of little quotes I wanted to talk to you. These are things that we've got from feedback from students, especially I'm talking about DL students here. They feel like they're missing important stuff. Sharing experiences. The Thesis Forum is unique in the sense that it's an informal thing, it's PGR driven, and they're things that they didn't want to ask their supervisor about. As a distance learning student, kind of feel left out of the loop. Well, we'd like them to feel in the loop. And then this is something that a nice email we got from somebody being reached out to as part of a part-time off-campus, can't always fly into workshops, connected with the campus, sense of belonging. Before I finish, there are 3 things I wanted to say. You have to rethink the way you teach. Things like the way you speak, your body language, you have to modify that because of the medium. The way you structure the session, chunking it, questions, the types of tasks, the way that your PowerPoints might be. And then the other one is about testing. I know that Helen and I will admit it was nerve-wracking. We had technical glitches, but we had to laugh at ourselves at times. It can be stressful when you've got people in the room and online, but over and over you build. By doing it more, you overcome some of those fears, and as like with lots of things, practice can make perfect. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Denise. Just thought I'd ask, does anyone have any questions for Denise? Yes, please. Alex has a question.
Okay.
Sure.
See if that works.
We would have a microphone in the room now, and we'd be able to pass the microphone around. So we use a separate microphone if we've got lots of people in the room.
So, let's see.
Now, and Therese, I've got a poll somewhere if you wanted to show the poll, but you don't have to. I'm just trying to think, where is it? Sharing. Okay, questions? Cool.
No. It's okay. Yeah, no, she didn't do it. So maybe we could do that later.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But can you ask your question to me, and I'll say it into the microphone, please.
Okay, yes. My question was, do you find that person talking to the presenter?
Okay, so Denise, the question that Alexandra is asking is, do you find that the typed chat is distracting from the speaker? From the speaker, is that right?
Yes.
It's distracting from the main speaker.
Well, Alexandra, what we do in the Thesis Forum is we have some ground rules where we, at the beginning, will do checking sound and we'll have some live chat. Then when we say we are going to have chat at particular times through the session, so the session might be an hour and a half, we would have the first speaker and then some chat, stop. So we as the facilitators, Helen and I facilitate the sessions, we have ground rules, we make it really clear about what's okay and what's not okay. And we are using, a number of us are using this in some of the research and development work, and we do the same thing. It's just like you would in a class, if without any technology, you just give instructions about when we would do that. And if there are some, it's a bit like controlling rowdy children. You have to just say no online chat while the speaker's talking. Does that help?
She's got another question.
So the recorded webinars that you can direct people to, if somebody can people actively
Okay, so yeah, the question is, with the recorded webinars, can people add to the chat if they look at the recording?
No, when you watch the recording, it's a bit like you're watching a film. You can manage it, you can go back and navigate and things like that, but you can't add to the chat. But what you could do is then follow up with, say, us, for example, as facilitators. You can follow up via email or something like that. So no, you can't.
But you can see the chat, so...
Yes, you can see the chat, you can read the chat, because you can see the whole recording and you can go back and forward. So you do have control. With subsequent viewing, I know that some students really liked things that the presenter was saying. Well, then they can go back and listen again, especially if your English is not your first language. Some of them wanted to listen again.